Well, James Gunn recently teased us that he was working on a Superman sequel. Just a month ago, somebody asked him if it's true that he's preparing for the next installment within the Super family, as in Superman, Supergirl, etc. And in true James Gunn fashion, he responded with, "I'm actually past preparing and well into writing." And today he came out and made it official. He has officially announced Superman Man of Tomorrow, coming July 9th, 2027, just 2 years away. Not even 2 years away, less than 2 years away. And in between, we have another installment of the Super family, Supergirl, and we have the Clayface movie. So DC fans are eating incredibly well right now. Now, James Gunn also teased what this movie is going to be about, at least for the main villain, as he posted a picture with his announcement of Superman next to Lex Luthor in his Warsuit, which we will definitely dive into, as well as some other DC updates that James Gunn has recently given us. And as far as Supergirl is concerned, I will say that 2 different insiders have heard and publicly stated that they have heard Supergirl is great. This is coming from the insiders Daniel RPK and Jeff Snyder. So we're already hearing great things about Supergirl. They're already doing test screenings, which makes a lot of sense. They did this for Superman as well. And Superman, in my personal opinion, turned out great. I love that movie. It's the #1 superhero film of this year, clocking in just a little bit over 600,000. No, it's not a $1 billion movie, but it is a great success for DC, so much that we're already getting Superman 2, which also means they probably have a lot of faith in that Supergirl film as well. Also, this could be why they dropped the Woman of Tomorrow title from the Supergirl movie, because they planned on making this sequel to Superman, and he planned on calling it Man of Tomorrow. And with James Gunn's tease about Lex Luthor in his Warsuit, I think we can deduce that Lex Luthor is once again going to be the main villain of the next Superman movie. However, it looks like there's going to be quite a difference this time. While Lex Luthor was kind of sitting on the sidelines as far as the actual fighting is concerned in the latest Superman film, setting up a whole system to give commands to the clone of Superman / the Hammer of Baravia. But this time, with James Gunn teasing his Warsuit, which he did actually tease about 2 weeks ago when asked by Josh on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast if Lex would ever don his Warsuit in the DCU, he stated, "We still got plenty of time, man. We see the early prototypes of that suit," which means his Warsuit is going to be derived by something that we've already seen in this past Superman film. I'm assuming the Hammer of Baravia suit, which before the film even came out, when we saw the trailer, some people even thought, oh, it's Lex in that suit. He makes the suit so he can go head to head with Superman, because otherwise, of course, he couldn't. So even though there are many different versions of the Warsuit in the comics, whether you're looking at pre-crisis, post-crisis, it seems like James Gunn is simply going to do his own thing and link it to the first Superman film, which does make a lot of sense. I do think James Gunn really does ride a great line of having comic references and being comic accurate while also introducing his own originality to a lot of his films, especially superhero films. And I mean, there's a few versions that we can probably rule out pre-crisis when he gets it on the home planet of Lexor. That's probably not going to happen unless they did something crazy. And he's probably not going to get the Warsuit that was built on Apocalypse. Now, he could somehow get some Kryptonian power armor, but that might depend on what happens in Supergirl and how connected it is to Superman's story and Earth. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But most likely, it's going to simply be a suit of his own design, especially since James Gunn teased that we get a glimpse of it in Superman. So again, I'm assuming it's going to be somewhat like the Hammer of Baravia's, except it's going to be Lex in the suit, and it's probably going to be a little smaller. And if James Gunn is going to keep the essence of Lex in that suit, he won't have a helmet, because people need to see his face. That's the kind of man Lex is. It also makes you wonder how he's going to get out of the situation that he was in at the end of Superman, where he was arrested, where he was seemingly going to be taken to Belle Reve. Perhaps he makes some connections in there and he manages to get out, or perhaps since he's just super rich and pretty smart, he manages to work something out to where he actually gets out. No doubt Lex is highly connected, but still, with Mr. Terrific and the Justice Gang knowing what Lex did, it would probably be pretty hard to prove of innocence, but don't put it past Lex. So incredibly exciting news. We don't even have to wait 2 years to get the next Superman movie. And we also do know that the Justice Gang is going to seemingly return because Isabella Merced, who plays Hawkgirl, posted James Gunn's announcement on social media with the caption, "See you soon." So not that anybody doubted that the Justice Gang would once again appear in the next Superman film, it is nice to get confirmation. Also, it does seem like James Gunn might be building to the Justice League. Replying to this announcement, Aaron Pierre, who is going to be playing John Stewart, another Green Lantern in the DCU, replied with, "Yes, indeed," and a green heart, and James Gunn replied with a praise emoji. I don't really know what to call that one. Hands up. And fans are speculating that he might be in this movie. And the Lantern series that is going to introduce John Stewart and Hal Jordan will have already came out before we get to Superman Man of Tomorrow. So while they're definitely hinting but not confirming in any means, a lot of fans are excited about this possibility. And James definitely could be building towards a Justice League project because right now him and the people at DC Studios are working on a lot. And that does include the Batman 2, which ironically enough is still going to be releasing after Superman 2. But now a few select people have read Matt Reeves' script for the Batman 2, and pretty much everybody who has spoken out about it has said that it's amazing. Colin Farrell recently spoke out about it after he read it and said, "I read the script and it's extraordinary." So great news for the Batman fans. And some people have noticed that the Clayface set seems to involve some similar locations from the Batman, which is still giving people some hope that perhaps Robert Pattinson's Batman will be the main one of the DCU. Now, I wouldn't put too much hope in that, but it does seem like there is still maybe a slight possibility, but I wouldn't count on it. Meanwhile, James Gunn has stated that the Brave and the Bold, Batman, is progressing very well right now at DC Studios, and they're very well in development. And so is Wonder Woman, and that's good to know because we're going to need these characters for the Justice League. And although we don't have an official release date, I'm assuming it's coming after Superman Man of Tomorrow because they haven't announced its release date yet, and they just did for Superman. But it is nice to get an update from James Gunn that Batman and Wonder Woman are progressing very well, and they are currently in development. He also confirmed this for Booster Gold and the Paradise Lost project. We still don't know who's going to play Booster Gold, but recently James Gunn did state very clearly that Batman and Wonder Woman were the biggest priorities next to Superman and Supergirl. And since we've already got Superman and Supergirl is pretty much done, it does seem like his main focuses now are turning to Batman and Wonder Woman, which means we'll have some really great characters in the DCU. Well, already, but also a lot more not too long from now. We'll have Superman, Supergirl, we'll have some Green Lanterns, and then of course Batman and Wonder Woman, and presumably Crypto. You could do a Justice League movie with that. I'd personally like them to introduce some more characters before they do it, just so we get kind of a different take on the Justice League / the Justice Gang, because who knows how they'll all form together if they're going to remain different groups and perhaps clash, the Justice League and the Justice Gang clash. We'll have to wait and see, but the future of DC is really bright and really exciting right now. So go ahead, let me know your thoughts about all of this news in the comments down below. Are you excited? And if you are, let me know what you are most excited about. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest DCU news. And you can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Snapchat. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.